Hello, I welcome you to this episode. I'll be telling you the expenses that have to be reduced from your settled renter or from your yearly income in order for you to increase the amount that is being refunded to you or the amount that the government will refund to you. I'll be talking more on settled renter. If you don't know what settled renter is, the 730 documents, I recommend you first of all watch the video where I spoke about what it is, how it is done, and the things you have to do. In this video, I'll be giving you the list of expenses that will have to be subtracted from your yearly income so as to increase the amount that will be refunded to you by the government. When going to the tax office, which is the CAF, the patronator or the CGIL office, to do your settled renter, you have to take along with you the receipts of the expenses you did for that particular year. Note, for them to be able to subtract the expenses you did, you must have proof in form of a traceable means of payments. Maybe the money you paid for those expenses must be through bank transfer, so that you'll be able to keep record of that transaction. It could also be by means of ATM. You know, when you withdraw money from your ATM, the ATM machine generates the receipts of that withdrawal. It must be a traceable payment. That payment must be traceable. If you bought some items, you have to keep the receipts of those items you bought and take those receipts along with you to the tax office. Now, the expenses that have to be reduced from your yearly income in calculating your settled renter or your 730 documents are your medical expenses, the expenses you did to sustain your health, buying of drugs from the pharmacy, booking of health tickets, carrying out tests at medical laboratories, visits to a specialist doctor, any form of thing you did to sustain your health, and you paid money, you have to keep the receipt of that purchase or of that analysis and take it along with you. The amount you made on medical expenses for yourself should be up to 129 euros before it can be deducted from your yearly income. And the percentage that can be deducted is 19% of your medical expenses, which must not be below 129 euros. Another deduction is your house rents. Almost everyone pays house rent. If that house contract is in your name, you will take the house contract to the tax office, because in the house contract is written the amount of rent you pay. That one is easy because it is stated in your house contract. So if the house contract is in your name, take that house contract along with you to the tax office. You may not bother yourself how much they can subtract. The tax office knows everything. They will do the calculation for you. Your part is just to take those things with you when going there. Your part is also to know the things to take along with you when going there. Once you know the expenses that can be deducted, you take those receipts along with you. When you get there, they will take all these receipts from you and do the calculations for you. The second thing that you can subtract from your yearly income is your transportation expenses for those who do monthly subscription or yearly subscription. Why for those who just buy daily tickets, they cannot subtract daily tickets, even if at the end of the year, the amount of tickets you bought will be substantial, will be high. But since you did not do monthly subscription or yearly subscription, you cannot subtract your transportation expenses. So transportation expenses subtraction is for those who buy tickets for 1 month or for 1 year. So 19% will be subtracted. Number 4 expenses that must be subtracted from your yearly income when calculating settled renter is the expenses you made on life insurance. 19% will be subtracted. Number 5 is child adoption. If you adopted a child or two children, the expenses you incurred in adopting that child, a percentage ranging between 23 to 43% will be deducted. Note that the adoption must be made from a different country. So if you live in Italy, the adoption must be made from a different country, not Italy. Number 6 expenses that must be deducted is the amount you pay to your ex-spouse. For those who are legally divorced, there is an amount the husband, the man will pay to the wife. That is if the man has more cash than the wife. And the man will always pay the woman a percentage monthly to maintain her, even if they are not married anymore. Sometimes it could be that the woman is the one paying the man. It depends on who has more cash. So the amount you paid to your ex-spouse, you keep the record, they will deduct 23 to 43% from your yearly income. Number 7 expenses is funeral expenses. The amount you spent burying a loved one, the record must be there. Up to a maximum amount of 1,550 euros. 19% will be removed from your yearly income. For parents, if your child is in any infant school, kindergarten, or nursery school, the money you spend in sending your child, your infant child, to a nursery school here in Italy, 19% of that amount, the maximum amount that can be deducted is 632 euros. Then keep the record. Maybe you bought food for your child, you bought pencil, you bought book, notebooks, all those little expenses, up to 632 euros will be deducted. That is the maximum amount. If you spend above that, that one cannot be deducted. But the maximum amount is 632 euros. You take the receipt along with you. So if you have 3 kids in nursery school and you spend the amount you spent per child for one child, so it means you will times it by 3. Number 9, the expenses you incurred in sending your kids to primary school, secondary school. You have to keep the receipts of the expenses you made and take it along with you. 19% will have to be deducted. Up to the maximum amount per child is 800 euros. So if you have 2 children or 3 children and you spend up to 800 per child, you multiply it by 3. They will take it to you and reduce it from your yearly income. Number 10, the expenses you made sending your child to any public university. 19% will be deducted. Number 11, the expenses you made in buying learning equipment for your kids up to secondary school level. Some people will have to buy laptop, some people will have to buy different learning equipment for their kids. So up to secondary level, you take that receipt with you, it will be deducted. Number 12, sports expenses for your kids. If your kids are involved in sports, then the expenses up to 210 euros per child will be deducted. The child must be between 5 and 18 years old. Per child, up to 210 euros. Number 13, the expenses you made on domestic animals, such as dogs, cats, the expenses you incurred in treating them, in taking them to a veterinary doctor. 19% of that expenses, minimum of 129 euros. 19% will be deducted. Number 14, the expenses you incurred in maintaining the health of a family member that is disabled, that is deformed, that has any deformity, even if that family member is not living with you. So for those of you who have any family member that is disabled in your country of origin, or even here in Italy living with you, between 23 and 43% of the amount you spend in the health of that person will be deducted. Number 15, the amount you spent in buying any medical equipment for a disabled family member, even if it's not living with you. 19% of that amount will be deducted. If you decide to buy clutches, wheelchair, respiratory equipment for a disabled person, 19% will be deducted. Number 16, for those of you who have house help, domestic workers, those of you who pay domestic workers, the tax you pay to the government will be deducted. Okay, up to a maximum amount of 2,100 euros will be deducted for a domestic worker that earns less than 40,000 per year. This deduction is also applicable even if the person that is assisted does not live with you. For instance, if in your country of origin you decide to hire somebody to take care of your old parents, they are not living with you here in Italy, they are in your home country, then the amount you spend must be recorded, must be traceable. That amount will be deducted here even while you are here in Italy. Number 17, life insurance expenses for a disabled person. If you did life insurance for a disabled person, 19% will be deducted. Maximum amount is 750 euros. 19% will be deducted. Number 18, house insurance expenses. If you insured your first house, note your first house, your house of residence where you live, you insured it, 90% of the expenses will be deducted. Number 19, the expenses you incurred in renovating your house, your first house, house of residence. The maximum amount required is 96,000 euros. So between 50 to 80% of the amount you spent in renovating your house, in painting your house, in making your house look attractive will be deducted from the calculation of your sette trenta. Number 20, if you bought home appliances such as washing machine, oven for cooking, different things, television screen, whatever, name it, any home appliance you bought up to the maximum amount of 10,000, a percentage will be deducted. 19% will be deducted. Note that that appliance must be energy efficient. That is, must not be the one that pollutes the environment. Must be friendly with the environment. So it will be written on it, energy efficient appliance. Number 21, the expenses you make in planting green trees, gardens, small gardens, because the global economy now wants to achieve a green economy, energy efficient society, a society that does not have pollutions. So by planting trees and by having a garden, you help to ensure that this pollution-free environment comes into fruition. So the expenses you made will be deducted. 19% will be deducted. Number 22, the expenses you made in buying a home, your home of residence, in buying your home of residence, a place where you will live, 50% will be deducted. Number 23, the interest you pay in buying a home. Most people take loan. So the interest you pay on that loan which you took to buy your home of residence where you will live, 19% will be deducted. Up to 2,582 euros will be deducted. Number 24, agent fees. The fee you pay to an agent in buying your home of residence. If the agent collected 5,000 euros from you, 19% of that amount will be deducted. Finally, number 25, the expenses you make in donating to charities, the money you donate to churches, to charities, to motherless baby home, 19% of that amount will be deducted. This is to encourage that people give to the poor. So 19% of that amount will be deducted. It is worth noting that you must have a traceable means of payment through bank transfer, ATM. So there must be a proof that you did these expenses. Otherwise, the tax office, the CAF, will not be able to subtract them from your yearly income. You now discover that after all these expenses have been subtracted from your yearly income, it will be discovered that the amount of tax you paid for a particular year is higher than your income. This is why, in most cases, the individual gets refund from the tax he or she has paid to the government. This is the end of the video. I hope you got value from it. If you did, you know what to do. Smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, and ping that notification bell so that you remain updated on the next video I'll be uploading. Thanks for watching.